Okay, well, welcome everyone on to another Wednesday night. If this is the first time that you're on our platform, welcome to SES. A lot of you heard this name the first time you heard of this name SES. What in the world am I talking about? It stands for Sequoia Enterprise Solution. So we are officially on board. SES, it's our name, Sequoia Enterprise Solution. So welcome to 2025, ladies and gentlemen. So where did we start? Sequoia actually started way long time ago. We had this dream that one day, somehow, somewhat, we are going to disrupt the commercial lending industry. Why do we say that? It's just because when we looked at many other industry on the market today, whether you're real estate, whether you are mortgages, insurance, whatever that might be, somehow, somewhat, some system or some human being disrupt that industry. So people like you and I, and ordinary people like you and I, have no idea what those industries are, can get into that field and experience the wealth and experience the profit in that industry. But however, commercial lending industry is still a very closed door field. Correct me if I'm wrong. When you go out there, when you have people that needs $1 million to purchase a warehouse, when you need $10 million to develop a community, when you need $300,000 to purchase an investment property, a lot of these business owners have no idea where to find the money other than the bank. If the bank shut them down, pretty much that's the end of the road. They cannot find any resources anymore. But one thing that they didn't know is that there's so much what we call alternative funding on the market. A lot of the capital, the U.S. economy is moved by private capital. It's not by the bank. A lot of the money out there it's a lot of the small businesses is run by private capitals. So again, a lot of people do not know that what we wanted to do in Sequoia is to open up that door. We built a platform so that you and I can come onto this platform regardless what your education background is, regardless if you speak English or not, as long as you're willing to plug into the platform, we have the tool and resources for you to service your client in the commercial lending industry. Now, of course, our name change is because our product and services also change. We are no longer a commercial lending company which just provide funding, but we also provide business service and solutions to our business owners, such as cost segregations to help them to save tremendous amount of taxes, such as tax appeal. If you own commercial properties, we are able to help you to reduce your tax, such as wellness program. As long as you have a business and you have 3 full-time employees, we can provide free benefits for your employees. And then on and on and on. So we are adding more and more product and services to our platform. And we will be adding another new product very soon, or new product and a service onto our platform very soon, where we can help commercial property owners to claim insurance. A lot of them don't even know how to do that. But long story short, that is where we came from. Along the way, we struggle. We've been through ups and downs. Along the way, a lot of people come and a lot of people left. It is fine. That is the nature of the business. But what we found is that throughout this journey, we run into a lot of business partners that we value very much. A lot of these business partners are our mentors. They help us along the way, through the thick and thin. And one of these partners is actually eXp, believe me or not, eXp Realty. So when Sequoia started it, our compensation plan, for those of us already in the business, you probably already know, our compensation plan is actually mimic eXp. And I believe in one thing. I believe in that. I believe in something called the law of attraction. When you believe in something so strongly, when you believe in something so every single day, somehow, somewhat, things will fall into pieces. So when we build Sequoia, one thing that in our mind is that one day we need to be like eXp, because their business model is fantastic. Their business model is brilliant. I mean, there's no need for us to reinvent the wheel. What we have to do is just to tweak around a little bit. If that system can fit eXp, it will fit us. And that is what we do. And we believe so strongly one day, somehow, somewhat, we will do business with eXp. And long story short, here we are. About a year and a half ago, we run into this fantastic gentleman called Mr. James Huang, and he was the eXp Commercial Realty president at that time. We met in San Francisco. I gave him a presentation and showed him what Sequoia's vision is all about. We show him our back office, show him our team, wherever we runs the team, and along the way, James gave us a lot of support, gave a lot of suggestions, and they mentor us how to run this. And most importantly is that the value, the support, the tools that he's willing to provide it to Sequoia. So I can go on and on. I'm excited about this. I promise I only will talk about for 5 minutes, and I'm already 10 minutes into it. So I'm going to stop right here. So without further ado, I would like to introduce a very good friend of mine, the ex-president of eXp Commercial Realty, and he is the one that make Sequoia and eXp can work together. And tonight he's here to share with us what kind of tools and platform that they are building in eXp so that our Sequoia member can actually tap into it. And he's also going to introduce another very powerful gentleman, Todd, on the call to share with us, hey, how can we get more money? So without further ado, James, the floor is yours.
Alan, thank you so much, and so gracious, because, you are that influencer, you are that leader, and I learned a lot from you too. And that's the power of a network, right? That's the power of showing up to really learn and see what each other's doing. And there's really no excuse now being virtual, right? But we know a lot of the magic happens when you do show up in person. But a lot of times using these virtual events, especially these tight-knit groups, you start building the relationship, friendship, connecting with each other on social media. We always say like LinkedIn for all the commercial people or business people. But that's a way that you maintain these friendships until one day when you meet, but it compresses the time to do business, right? Because you built friendship, relationship, trust. And that is the core of a lot of this. And I said, Alan's a leader through decades of trust. Like you were saying, friendships going back into the military. Thank you for your service. A lot of this matters. And Sally, we're going to do an event in Miami or near it with Todd when he speaks. But this is the network that we want to show. Building eXp, and what I did when I built eXp was a model that is ahead of the curve from residential. Residential was already leading the pack of what people needs to do. Setting up commercial the same way, I'll tell you what it did. It made me financially free. So in 4 years, I was financially free, and everyone has a number, right? We always say, and leading up to this, what number do you have in 5 years? I want to challenge everyone, because this is by joining and being part of Alan, showing up today. There is a number, and I did this for our live, Alan, which you showed up, strat plan. I want everyone to say in 5 years what the number is per month, cash flow. Like we always say, you are financially free when the amount of money you need to live, right, is less than the amount of money you're getting in after taxes and everything else you have to do. But there's a number. Is it 10,000, 20,000, 30,000? And yes, some people said some ridiculous number like I need to make a million a year or $1 million a month. Okay, you need to put a different business plan. But I say most people, and we're going to show you this with Alan and so many friends around the world. And we will show you this, that there is a number that you need in 5 years. And if you plug in and do work, but have a leverage multiple effect, you will hit that number. I'll tell you, eXp is not for everyone, but it is for some people. And those that do it, and Todd's, just full disclosure, is with our team too, like Alan's wife, but we're all working together. Because one piece is trying to find as many passive ways of making money. So when I was at eXp, I said, you know what? Publicly traded, you get stock, you get revenue share, which is passive income, you get referrals. So this is one piece too. A lot of people don't want a cold call. They want referrals. So the larger the number is in a group, the more you show up and present, you will be that influencer to get numbers. Right? So eXp is one. Okay, we got 90,000 people within that network. There's all these networks. So eXp is one way. You get cash flow, you get stock, you can mentor, you can get referrals. Now check this out. We also, through the course of just working, hold on, there we go. We said also, there's something else that we can do. Hold on. We can also create an overlay, is when we create a Renaissance. So eXp, some people said, I like eXp, it makes sense, but I can't move my brokerage or move my license. Okay. Renaissance is a brokerage agnostic kind of network overlay. And by being part of Alan Wu's group, you are now part of this Renaissance network. And through this Renaissance network, we call it a global education referral service network. So what does that mean? One, everyone needs to be educated. There are many of us that are experts in, let's say, real estate, mortgage, finance, development, syndication. We're experts because we've been, like I said, doing it more than 10,000 hours. We become an expert. But we're not an expert of everything. So through Renaissance, what we're doing also is to educate everyone about how they could learn to do a different discipline. But we all know, once you learn, that's not enough. You need to plug in and have a mentor. So through this organization too of training, we are attaching people with mentors like Todd. When you hear this man's story, boy, everyone's going to sign up under Todd, right, to learn. But this is the one thing. You learn the education, you get a certification. Now what? You got to plug in, right? There's the accountability. There is a networking mastermind that you have to show up. And there's a mentor who can help you. But you also need a community. So with Renaissance, we do the full package of education. Like Alan, we tapped in. Remember, we were helping you commercial training, tax reassessment, just different groups, different education. But now this year for 2025, we're organized like what you revamped everything. We did too. Now we're doing things on steroids. We have probably, I would say when we put everything together, at least 50 courses of different property types, of different disciplines, of different knowledge-based things you can learn. And everything is about how to make money, how to leverage it, how to actually use it to create income. The other thing is referrals. Everyone wants referrals. But the one thing is everyone is not interconnected with each other. Sequoia is one group, eXp is one group. Let's say people that may be KW, Independent, NAI, Lee and Associates, just whatever you are, wherever you are in the world. Renaissance has 20 different partners around the world. So let's say if you're eXp, we have 27. Renaissance is in 20 different countries. Each group helps us expand. Since it's brokerage agnostic, plugging into with each other through technology, and I'll share the technology later. And the next is services. We all know we're transacting, but like with Alan and what Sequoia does now, Sequoia Enterprise Solutions, you actually help people do business equipment, loans, all these different pieces. But through our network, we will be doing, title, escrow, different parts of the capital stack. We will be doing ground up construction development, moving equity around the world, throwing events, learning where you can plug in at all different aspects. Literally, we're getting all of these services, as long as it's non-RESPA, at a wholesale price. So many of you have a relationship you've built. How many times do people ask, I need an attorney? Boy, that happens a lot in commercial. I need a CPA. I need somebody that can teach me about regional centers, EB5. I need somebody to talk about OZs. When Todd talks, I need somebody to structure a PPM, an LLC, how to do fund management administration. I need to know a DST. So a lot of these different groups that we're putting together through Renaissance will allow different groups or individuals to plug into this massive network. And I'll just say, because of the technology company I run also, domestically, we have about a million people, US. Globally, we have about 10 million people you can actually go into. So a little bit with the Renaissance, what we're building is a lot of the real estate agents and support and tools all around the world is what we're putting on together with the Renaissance. These are some of our leadership who have been in this business for a long time. Myself, been doing different startup companies. Scott Cook is very good in property asset management. He's been doing it for 30 years. He bought a lot of brokerage firms from SVN, a company that I was going to buy out. Earl Kemper has been very involved in business brokerage, M&A, and small investment banking. Ashley and I work together at eXp. She's very good at putting websites together, data, policies, procedures, a lot of integration. Andy Hirsch, a very good friend. I knew him, his wife, when she was in high school because of her older brother, until one day he got married and we were lifelong friends. He also is a CPA and CPA JD, and he did graduate top of his class in both. He's really our general counsel, keeping us out of trouble as we all need attorneys to work. So we put a good daily work together team to put all these things together for you. And we're creating a fractional C-suite because later on we will tell you why you may need this. These are our board of advisors. Fred Schmidt used to run Coldwell Banker Commercial, corporate services for CBRE. Jeff Finn, part of our board of directors, owns a technology company called RealNet, but also he owned NAI Global. Jerry Anderson's part of our team. He was running CBRE when it was CB. So you know CBRE went public, private a couple times, but it started from Coldwell Banker. So Jerry Anderson, 50-year veteran, is part of the team. Jerry also was a president of Sperry Van Ness. At one point, Sperry Van Ness was a number 6 company in the world, and he was also a CCIM lifetime instructor. We got Nick G. Nick G was quoted in Entrepreneurial Magazine as the godfather of business brokerage. He's been in business brokerage for 45 years. And my friend Jenny Chu, who runs, actually we have to change that, she runs the Korea convention, but also she is very connected globally. And I was very blessed and lucky that one of my partners, Human Mabubi, that owned half of Beverly Hills, introduced me to Jenny. And his family, owning half of Beverly Hills and many other businesses, were worth $7 billion. He actually told me, Jenny is the shit. I go, what? Your family's worth $7 billion. He said, in this room alone is $500 billion. And I was blown away because it is the network of who you know and who will vouch for you in that access. And Jenny has gotten for me to speak in Korea, and just doing the Korea conference that I'm going to invite Alan next time to join us. On the yacht, we're all billionaires. Because of Jenny, I got to meet the chairman of Samsung Electronics, the electronic part, not the whole conglomerate. Later on, Mingju was partners now at Cleveland Avenue with Don Thompson. Don Thompson should resonate with everyone. He was the former CEO of McDonald's and CEO of Kaiser. So it is the network of who you know, who likes you, and who you can access through this group. But by plugging in, you're going to see more and more different groups. These are some of our global partners. We have global partners, I would say most of Asia, that I'm going to be traveling Asia, and we will do probably, Alan, business trips to go to the Philippines, Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam, Taiwan, in mainland China, Japan, Korea, India. If you look at this group, they are leaders all around the world. Every continent, I would say, except for Antarctica. We have powerful friends that have been in business for over 20, some of them over 30 years. Just because of a lot of our partners, they've been around for at least 40 to 50 years in this business. I always say, Al and I may be the next generation. We're just in our 50s and 60s. But when you tap into old school knowledge and connections, it opens up doors globally. And this is not, I want to do global business, but I'm in this country. No, they're all in their country. So that's what I think a global partner is. Not somebody in the US that says they know somebody. Everyone here owns their own company in that country. So there'll be more that you can share, connect through LinkedIn, read their resume, and plug in with each other. We have a ton of committees and more coming. And anything, Alan, with you and the group could run. We have a global team. We have business exchange team. We have multifamily, ground up construction, how to grow, business brokerage, capital markets, corporate services. there's going to be so many people, so many groups that you can learn and plug in, right? So you can learn, but many of them run committees and groups at least monthly that you can plug in so you can specialize on what you want to learn or network through Zoom to see everyone else. And this is just some of the benefits, and I'll share this later with you, Alan, so you can really see everything we're doing. Scan this. So you can see the website, but the most important is the calendar. The calendar will allow you to access, as long as Alan says you're part of Sequoia, how to get in for all these benefits of education, learning, mentoring. I would say through Alan, we would always pay Alan so he can split the shares, like you said, like eXp. We want to make sure everyone does get paid, and that's what's important. We want to make sure everyone hits their numbers, because through what you do, leveraging, let's say, property management, you make some money. You raise capital, working with everyone, you make some money. You do anything, you make some money. And then we will show you what you can invest in. Like I said, different ways of making passive income. So if you want to make $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, I would even push in 5 years for those that are very ambitious. Some people, Alan, let's make a bet. One person out of your group at least will make $100,000 a month in 5 years. I will say this from what we're putting together. Most people in 5 years, I'll just say this, and this could be a daunting dream, but we're going to show you, you'll probably make between 10 to 30,000. We've already done it. We've already seen it. You do have to put the work in, but I would say we could help you manage the cash flow of 10 to 30,000 a month, diversifying, right? Assets. Assets can be converted into cash flow. Assets are just assets as they grow, unless you sell some stocks, sell some stuff, but you pay taxes. But what we want to do is help everyone keep as long of a stream of cash flow as possible, right? So in 5 years, have a number. Alan, we'll do another working exercise to hold everyone accountable, to help everyone get to that cash flow number that everyone wants. And let me show you another thing. How does this all work? It doesn't work by itself. The only way to do it is through technology. And let me see, where's the tech? Alan, can you see it? Hold on.
Nope, not yet. Yep, it's coming up.
Okay, so here, as everyone sees on my LinkedIn, for those that follow me, and I ask everyone to follow, you can only do it through tech. Without the tech, right, Alan? It's hard to track. It's old-fashioned through Excel. People cannot do this. Through Alan, we'll give you everyone passcodes to sign up. And Alan, within Recess, you have your own Sequoia group that you can run.
Yep.
And we are going to let people plug in so everyone not only sees the calendar, but gets access to technology. This is part of the package. So now you can interconnect, communicate, pass leads, pass referrals, plug in, educate, because you need this. So it doesn't always have to call Alan Wu. Alan, do you know this, right? Alan, do you know that? We can now track every kind of communication people are making to connect. So to make sure Alan understands about the revenue share, how to split compensation with everyone. It is very important that is transparent, that people use technology to do this. And let me tell you, this is the biggest thing. As you have an expertise, and let's say you want to plug in, what we're going to do is eventually open up within Recess. There's 700,000 people in the database. We are then, probably this quarter, going to open it up. I know in the first wave, probably next month, 5,000, mostly in commercial. But eventually we are going to open it up to 700,000 people, mostly in the US. There is another partnership we're putting together when we go to Thailand. 10 million people around the world, mostly from China. So anyone that we know, you need to have the US market, the China market, or the Asian market to start doing deals and everything. But you can see we're in Europe, we're in Africa, we're in Middle East, we're in North America, South America, Asia, right? We're everywhere with this group. But you got to use technology and Alan, like yourself and Todd and many of you here, the right leaders to plug in. Because as easy as people plug in, if you abuse it, Alan, I'll say, hey, one of your people we got to get rid of. And even in our own team, we got rid of people that were a bad apple. This is not here to take advantage or abuse anyone. This is an opportunity for everyone to be transparent, to plug in, to network, to make that dollar amount. That's what we want to do, is to get everyone financial free, to help everyone be financially free. And Alan, like you, serving, giving back to the military, helping with National ACE. Many people here want to give back and help. And our next guest speaker is the epitome of giving back and helping, right? But this is what's so important to many of us. You can't take it with you. But if we can help you free yourself financially from the 9 to 5, you can then spend more time with family, have a better quality of life. You will probably take care of your health a lot better so you can live longer. And I'll tell you this, you need purpose in your life. And purpose is not just traveling, golfing. And I'll tell you, some of the richest people we know, they don't do that. They build other companies. They learn to be philanthropists. They learn to plug in and serve. This is my hope for everyone, by showing the blueprint, showing the program to everyone, how to plug in through Sequoia. Since you're all here with Alan, that's what we do. We honor where we meet everyone through Alan, to allow everyone to grow and plug in to get to that number. Next, I want to invite a very good friend, part of our team, and his story will blow you away. I love this guy, and I love him even more from the story, because I have extreme, Todd, passion for your story, what you do. And you know, I think I owned that multifamily that you were in. I hate to say this. My partners and I were the Section 8s. They called us slumlords of South Central, Compton. My partners and I, we owned a lot of properties through the last cycle. We did lose it, but my friend, he went back and bought it all. But I have to look at my records if I owned that building. But maybe when we make a lot of money, Todd, we will buy it, enshrine it, fix it up for free. Let the LA Council and everyone know this is what we could do, Todd. You know how this is the home of the president or somebody that lived. We got to do this for you. But
that would be awesome.
The show
I would love that.
Yeah, and this is one of the programs through our group of how to make money. So when I heard Todd speak, I said, oh my gosh, we got to share with everyone right now, because this is mind-blowing, especially if you're looking at raising capital, putting funds together, syndicating properties. And it's not as hard as you think, right? It's not as hard as you think. But a lot of times what's scary is you don't have a mentor, you don't have a blueprint, you just don't know. But Todd, you know. So please take it away.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the great introduction, Jim, and Alan, for the opportunity to speak to everyone here. It's truly my honor and my pleasure, and I mean this from the heart. I'm here to serve first and foremost, and hopefully we'll actually do that. So with first share this presentation. Bear with me. I got a lot of windows open, so let me know if you can see my screen, and let me move this video over. There we go. So today, really going to talk about what I'll call the capital raising blueprint, unlocking the secrets to starting and raising capital for your fund and your projects. And, you know, for all of us, especially in real estate and or the lending business, it may not just be us that wants and needs capital. It may be our clients that need capital. And so what I'm here to share is really a framework that will help us all grow our business. I believe the key to being a successful entrepreneur is finding solutions, creating solutions to add value to other people's lives. And so, you know, I've shared this presentation a few times. You know, I think we're in an amazing time period. This is a AI-generated video that OpenAI ChatGPT has now through Sora AI. So even things like creating animated videos are really cool and free, essentially, to do these days. So, you know, what if you had unlimited capital, or your clients had unlimited capital? And when I say unlimited, enough capital to do all the projects that they need to do. What would that mean for you? What would that mean for them? And that's what this is about. But, we all need, as Jim mentioned, a mentor, a place to start. And not all of us come from money or wealth or having the greatest opportunities, but it all starts with the first step. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. I'm Todd Billings. I've done 8 investment funds, about 1.3 billion in transactions, all in the real estate and mortgages space. I've been blessed and fortunate to have attended both Johns Hopkins and Stanford University, worked for Merrill Lynch, also worked for Bank of America Private Bank, uh, and have done everything from investment banking to trading as a NASDAQ market maker to ultimately helping serve some of the wealthiest families in the country. But it didn't start there. I really had humble beginnings. There's a picture of me as a little kid with my mom and my dad. Grew up in South Central Los Angeles. And I wrote a number here, 232, because it's a constant reminder to what my parents paid for rent, which was $232 a month. Um, and I also put on here 5 a.m. I used to have to be at the bus stop every morning at 5 a.m. to get to school down in Palos Verdes. If you're familiar with Los Angeles, it's a pretty long trek and is not the easiest to get to if you don't have a car. And so it was a long day every day. And as Jim was mentioned, the picture here on the top left is the building I grew up, 1340 West 57th Street. I grew up in apartment number 19 here. But I was super blessed and fortunate to get an opportunity, a scholarship to go to a private school where I graduated with 63 kids, a school called Chadwick School. It was on top of a hill in Rancho Palos Verdes called Academy Hill, and you could literally see all of the city all the way to downtown when it's clear. Granted, Los Angeles isn't always clear, but on a clear day, you can see all the way to downtown. I even put the bus map here just to show you, from where I was. I caught the bus at Slauson and Normandy over to the 110 freeway, where I took a freeway bus from South Central through Watts, Compton, and then landed in Carson, where I then carpooled with a friend or another classmate who took me up to school and then returned each day. So I share all of this not to boast or brag, but really to just say it starts with belief. And what happened for me was by being in an environment where I saw people doing things that were not um, available in my network of people, in my family, in my surroundings. Being at Chadwick School, I got to see people who were doing private equity, people that were advising the president, people that were doing some really amazing things. And that's what I'm really here to be for you, to be that that mentor, that tool, that key that just opens a door, that gives exposure that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise had. And some of you may have had tons of experience, and that's great. And I'm happy to learn from each and every one of you. The goal here is to unleash your wealth. How can you become a successful fund manager? And and so what I'm doing is we're going to be hosting an event on February 10th, and I'll walk through some of the dates and give you a QR code that you can sign up for. But it's going to be the introduction to launching funds, the benefits of a fully operational fund, and a lot of the secrets to success. Why are funds important? Because they're the future of wealth creation, especially for people like us, where we can start to get the leverage of other people's money. So we're going to go through what is a fund, how funds work, how do we leverage and scale that fund. And being in real estate in particular, or even the lending business for that matter, sometimes you don't always have the most predictable cash flow. And so one of the things that was great about having a fund or 8 funds at the end of the day was the ability to have predictable cash flow. For instance, if you have a $10 million fund and you're charging a 2% management fee, that's $200,000 a year coming in just for waking up every day. You build that to a $100 million fund and you're getting a 2% management fee, that's $2 million a year just for waking up every day. Now, that to me can be right on top of everything else that we're doing. And so there's a lot of great opportunity in building wealth through funds. In addition, the diversification of risk. One of the things that I tell all of my, I'll call them mentees or people that I've advised is syndications are great. I love syndications, but I've done, goodness, thousands of assets, and I can tell you, I've not made money on every single one of those assets. I've made money in every single one of my funds. All of my funds have been highly profitable and successful. But if I had investors that were only investing in my individual deals, I would have had a ton of people who had a great experience, but I would have had a good number of people who didn't have a good experience. Whereas by combining things into a fund, it's allowed me to give and deliver a great experience for everyone, where no one has walked away from any of my funds and said, I lost money with Todd. And that's what a fund can also do for you. We'll go through some success stories. I focus specifically on real estate. And I believe, the goal of putting this all together is to deliver a solution that will drive down the cost of getting you up, running, and going. And I'm going to do that through working through our network of attorneys to say, hey, all of these people coming into the space are in the real estate and mortgage space, and we're going to be able to basically take what is typically what I'll call boilerplate legal language. And because it's all in the same industry, the lawyers can really reduce their costs significantly. And we're going to spend the time educating you and helping you to answer the questions that lawyers have asked me over the years, so that by the time the lawyers get the work, it's really just plug and play, and we can drive that cost down tremendously. Now, that being said, the basics of what I'm teaching can apply to anything from crypto, venture capital, et cetera, but the focus is really on what we do every day. What will we cover? Legal and structural setup, PPMs, subscription documents, partnership agreements, choosing the right kind of entities, how to remain compliant, building trust with investors. How do we establish credibility? How do we provide that professional image specifically for raising capital, which may be very different than someone who is maybe a builder or developer. The image that I want to see there may be in a hard hat, whereas the image I want to see for someone managing the fund may be in a business attire or business suit. So, having transparency, addressing red flags, and then leveraging the things that we've already done that can really give us credibility with those that we're going to ask for money from. How do we actually apply those things and get to the finish line as quickly as possible and compliant as well? And so we'll walk through all of those steps. Building the network. So we all have a personal network. RESAS is one of those. Sequoia is a network. And then all of the other networks, whether it be eXp or where we went to school, it could be online. But one of the beautiful parts about raising capital today is that the Jobs Act of 2012 has really opened. I'm sure we've all heard the term crowdfunding. Today, we have the opportunity to do what's called general solicitation, where we can actually market, advertise, which, if you're not familiar with, has been banned and prohibited since 1933. So you may not know this, and I didn't know this when I got into the space. It's great to realize that there's so much opportunity out there, but the people who run this industry, and that would be the Blackstones, the Fidelities, the Vanguards, they don't need to do the same kind of general solicitation to get business. But we, as startup fund managers or small fund managers, we do. How do we craft a winning pitch? We're going to walk through that. But one thing that I found that was really interesting is so many of us are so focused on the deal. The deal was actually not even in the top 3 of what really made investors decide to invest. It was really the pitch. It was around transparent communication and ultimately developing a credible track record. So the program is called Fund Ready. The idea is that it will include not only legal setup, compliance, it will include marketing, fund administration, and investor relations support. And from my experience in doing this, just setting up fund documents in my beginning fund was about $100,000. And part of that was because I didn't know what I was doing, and I was spending countless hours with attorneys going back and forth, trying to figure out what I needed to do. And so something that was ultimately what I'll call boilerplate legal language was really given to me after lots of consulting that cost a lot of money. I know Jim spent about $150,000 on his legal docs. And so the idea here is that something that would typically cost $100,000, maybe just for legal and compliance, I'm trying to get that to be $25,000. That will include not only your legal docs, your fund administration, getting you set up with investor relations, marketing, And not only that, but the training and the support that you need to actually just get started. And, like I said, now more than ever, even if you don't have access to tons of people, you can now do general solicitation, which opens the door tremendously, which means you could post something on Facebook, Instagram. I'm sure you've all been on social media and have seen an ad for a fund here or there. The event is going to be February 10th. It'll be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So it'll be a long day. It's going to be live for those of you who are in town or want to come in town. It'll be in the Fort Lauderdale, Miami area. And there will also be a virtual option. There is a QR code here, so feel free to pull out your phones and you can grab this QR code. And that is something that you can just show your interest. And then from there, I'll be sending out some further details. But really a pleasure. Happy to answer any questions. I don't want to take too much more time, but thanks for the platform, Alan. Thanks for the intro, Jim. And I look forward to teaching each and every one of you. And, I really will just end by saying one thing, which is none of us were born with this. I think about my background and where I grew up, and the fact is my current fund that I'm winding up has 3 investors, has 2 billionaire families and one family that has over $250 million. How did a kid from South Central LA, whose parents, my dad was a auto detail guy, my mom worked for Safeway as a checker, and here I've been able to do 8 funds, over 1.3 billion. And it was really by the grace of God that I got out of not only a dangerous environment, but I have the opportunity to now be married 25 years this summer, have 5 kids, and have really been blessed. So really looking forward to paying it forward. The event is going to be, depending on your ticket, will be from a couple $100 up to about $1,000 if you're going to come live. But if for some reason finances is an issue, please let me know, because I definitely don't want money to be the reason you're not in the room and you're not getting the education. So thanks again.
Wow. Well, okay. Thank you so much, James and Todd. Share the wealth of information. So as you can see, by plugging into eXp, James and Todd can bring in a lot of other resources and knowledge and skill onto this platform, so that you and I can benefit out of it. So I hope that you can see the value. So oftentimes people ask me, "Hey, Alan, how can I make $1 million? How can I do this? How can I become rich?" Well, honestly, I don't know, but what I can share with you is that, hey, to me, for the longest time, I learned it doesn't matter what you do. As long as you understand these 4 things, you will be ahead of a lot of people. Now, how much money you can make is totally up to you. It's not up to me. But if you understand the following 4 things, I bet you whatever the goal that you set to yourself, you can accomplish it. The first thing, well, I'm going to share with you 4 differences. Okay. The first difference is what I call knowledge difference, meaning that, hey, do you know something? If you know something and I don't know that thing, most likely you will be ahead of me because you know something, right? That's the first thing. So obviously knowledge is very important. A lot of people, once they got out of college and now their minds shut down and they don't want to learn anymore. So ask yourself, how many books have you been reading? How many books do you read a year? So for the longest time, my mentor told me that, hey, Alan, between now and 5 years from now, it's all based on what are the people that you meet in the book that you read. Basically, that's it. The people that you meet in the book that you read. So ask yourself, how much do you know and what do you need to know? If you look at today's market, if you look at today's world, it's very, very exciting. And now if you think about, the internet is exciting and all these technology exciting, wait until the next 5 years, next 10 years. The chat GPT is here. The AI is here. There's God knows how much more technology is going to be here. So promise yourself, learn something new every year. Learn something new, that if you learn something that other people don't know, I bet you're already ahead of a lot of people. So the Sequoia platform, we are committed to teach people what commercial lending is all about, what business lending is all about. And if you want to learn all day long, I have not yet seen a platform that has so much wealth of knowledge. So go to our website, subscribe to our website, and you can learn about multifamily all day long. You can learn about DSCR loan all day long. You can learn about construction all day long. It's all in our YouTube. And ask yourself, how many of you actually gone through every single of those videos. I mean, everything together, we've over 100 hours of training in that YouTube. So the first difference is knowledge difference. You know something, I don't know something, you're ahead of me. The second difference is understanding difference, meaning that we both know that, but you understand more than I do. You put the time into it. A lot of people now in this platform, I bet a lot of us already know what commercial lending is. But that's what you know. But do you understand it? Do you understand it? If you understand it, then you will make more money than I do. Does that make sense? So again, it's not about, there's no secret. A lot of people, everybody's looking for the secret sauce, but there's no secret sauce out there. It's all about, this basic fundamentals. So the second thing that I want you to remember this year is understanding the a difference. You know something, I know something. We all know the same. We go to college, we go to school at the same time. We go to the same class at the same time. I mean, we know that stuff, but do we understand it? So that's the second thing. The third thing that I want you to remember is the action difference. You know it, I know it, you understand it, I understand it. You take a test, you got 100%. I take the test, I got 100%. We're all the same. But now the difference is that the action, are you taking the action? If you are taking the action and I'm not taking the action, you will make more money than I do. So action is very, very, very important. And I see people come to training, come to meeting day in and day out and day in and day out. One thing that I really don't want everybody to do is to become a professional meeting attendees. There's so many meetings out there that we can go to. And I bet you, when I was young, I knew so many people. For example, like fix and flip. I know so many people that go to all kind of fix and flips seminars. They go at one. They spend so much money in it, but they never take the action to take the first deal. So action difference is very, very important. So look at all those people that are making so much money. It's not because they're smarter. It's just because they take more actions than you. That's the third difference. Now, the last difference I really want everybody to remember is the performance difference. Meaning that you know something, I know something. You understand it, I understand it. You take action, I take action also. But I am doing a little bit better than you. I am doing a little bit better than you. That is the difference. So always ask yourself. You were talking about leaders. James showed us a lot of leaderships in eXp. Quite frankly, James, hey, nothing wrong with that. Honestly, all those people have nothing to do with me. Seriously, I have no idea who they are. But who is the most important leaders? It's you yourself. You yourself is the most important leader in your life. Honestly, all those people that you see, they're not going to pay you a dime. James is not going to give you a dime. Alan Wu is not going to give you a dime. You have to be the leader to go out there to understand something, to learn something, to understand it, to take the action and do it better than someone else. In order for you to really, really, really make that $100,000 a month, it's not easy, but it's not difficult. So hopefully, hopefully everybody can see the value of this platform can bring in for you. So 2025 is here. Whatever is past is past. Let's forget about this. Do not make the New Year's resolution. A lot of people say, okay, New Year's here. I'm going to do this year. By December 31st, I'm going to do this. Forget about New Year's resolution, guys. Make a new month resolution. January is gone. January 22nd. 8 more days. January is gone. What have you done? Has your life changed anything? Now, our goal, as I mentioned to you, our goal in 2025 is to have fund $50 million loans. But I break it down. So every single month, I need to fund at least $5 million. So far, we funded $2.5 million. This month, I'm 50% short. But again, it's okay. Even though I'm 50% short, we still funded $2.5 million loan. Somebody still make money. So the question is, are you that one that making that money? So the company goal is to fund $50 million loan. What is your goal in that $50 million? So ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I can go on and on and on, but I'm so excited. It's because this year is a brand new year. And it's January, everybody get excited, right? But I truly, truly see, because for the last so many years, Sequoia has been spending so much time and effort to try to figure out what can we do? How can we provide more product and services for our agent who come onto our platform and stay on our platform? And I think we have it. We have a platform that we provide product and services, and we also have partners like James, like Todd, and many other valuable partners on our platform that provide product and services for every single one of us to utilize. But at the end of the day, guys, it is your show. It's not mine. It is your show. So, James, Todd, do you guys have any last wisdom to share with us? If
I'll
not,
just say something before I pass it to Todd. Showing up here matters. What we're going to try to do for you is to give you a roadmap, but it's for you to do the work. You know, one thing I always said to new agents in commercial, trained at least a couple thousand, at least 1,000. I can't train lazy. And I've said that before. If you work hard, I can make you work more efficient. I can give you a roadmap. I can give you the right mentors, move things around, right? Mentors don't always work out the first one. But if you're willing to work hard, put in the time, like that's why I said 5 years. I didn't say, oh, you're going to get rid in 1 year. Ridiculous. Todd knows that's BS. You better be wary. 5 years is very doable. If you put in the work, it's very doable to make a 10,000 to 30,000 a month. Very doable, because many people that have come to the journey with me at eXp, they all do that. So they've done it. And next time we're going to go in the weeds for each one to let you know which one you want to learn, so you can get it, whether it's eXp, whether it's Renaissance, whether it's the different skill sets, mortgage, debt, capital markets, development, syndication. Through Sequoia now, Alan's going to have, and Sequoia is going to have a ton of educational information, teachers, and then also you're going to have great mentors, people that have been in the industry like Todd, 20, 30, 40 years. So that's what we're going to bring to Alan and Sequoia through this relationship partner. But I would say bigger, it's friendship. So Todd, final words from you?
Number one, thank you. That was really inspirational, Alan, just listening to you and your 4 points, because it's so true. In creating the presentation that I have, there's probably 116 slides in the full 4-hour presentation. And the thing that was missing as I was wrapping up was all of those personal stories. And that's where the power is, right? All the other stuff is information, but the power is knowing that you did the work. I'm never afraid of failure, because I know where I came from and I know that I got here. So no matter what happens, I could go bankrupt tomorrow. I know I can rebuild it. That's the power of doing the work. If someone just hands you the quote unquote success, the millions of dollars or the 100,000 a month or whatever your number is, but you don't know how to get it, that's a very scary place to be, because if you lose it, you can never get it back. And so I'll leave you with one story that I really love. It's about a minute long. It's a video from Les Brown, and hopefully it'll resonate with you. The video quality is not great, but the audio is awesome. So it's a minute. I'll leave you with this.
Take this to you that I love very much. I want to thank Dexter and all of you. It's something that I'm known by. It's on our tapes called Choosing Your Future, and it says simply this: that if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stirring pertinacity, cold poverty, finish, or gold, sickness, or pain, or body and brain, keep you away from the thing that you want. If dogged and grim, you besiege and beset it, with the help of God, you'll get it. This is Baby Brown's baby boy, Leslie Calvin Brown, saying, it's been a plum-pleasing pleasure, as well as a privilege. Thank you.
So I'll leave that with you guys and see if I can find my thing here again. But sorry, do I stop it?
9 years old, been working on a job for 17 years.
Apologize for that. But hopefully you guys all got to hear that, and it leaves you a little bit of inspiration. Just I'd say it's just the hard work. There's nothing that will ever replace knowing that you earned it, no matter what you get in the end.
Well, great. Thank you so much. And absolutely, there's a question right here. How do you reach James and Todd? Well, again, James and Todd is on our Facebook page. So if you're not connected to us on our Facebook page, then you can find them. Okay. How do you find our Facebook page? Go to your website and go all the way down at the bottom. Let me show you right here. If you can see the website. So if you can see the screen, this is your website right here. Everybody's supposed to have your own website. You go down to all the way to the bottom, and you see Facebook right here. Click on it, and that is our private face group. So James is there, Todd is there. Click on it, and you can find them. Okay, guys. So thank you so.
And Alan, one quick thing, we'll post all the stuff that we talked about so everyone have access.
Yep.
Because this is part of the Sequoia family.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So again, I see you guys next Wednesday night. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Good night, Alan.